What is up, riders? Welcome back to the Bws 50 build. Got the frame back from powder coating, and I'm super excited to start building up. Let's get into it. So we've got the frame and the handlebars and the center stand and a few other bits back. We're still waiting for the white bits, so we'll see them later on in the video. So that's the wheels, the belt cover, etc. We do have the motor back, which is awesome, being cleaned by Bernard. He did an amazing job vapor blasting the whole motor, so it looks brand new. Can't wait to show you guys that. We also got a whole bunch of parts from Stage 6 and SR8 and Motoforce, so I'm going to show you guys that very soon. But if you do like this type of content, remember to like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram as well. We post all the behind the scenes of all of this. Without further ado, let's get to unwrapping the vapor blasted motor. Got my knife. Let's unwrap these casings. So I've got we sent the barrel off as well. That's coming tomorrow, but I wanted to just show you guys what we do have already. First up, I've got the gear case cover. So we're not going fancy like my 50. That's okay though, because this is not going to be seen. It's going to look awesome anyway. So this is looking nice and clean and fresh. Smells fresh, smells clean. I wasn't trying to smell it. No. Okay. Now we got our other half of our casings here. What is this called? Let's go blank. Engine casings. Yeah, but I mean, like, what's the half called?
An engine casing half.
Oh. Okay. Well, check that out. I mean, it looks brand new. Of course, there's a few marks here and then pitting from like the years. This is an old motor now. It's like, how many years old? It's older than me. This thing's like 35 years old. So for it to look this new, it looks amazing. Anyway, let's get to the other half of the casing. Is this weird for me to classify this as like Christmas in July? You know how people have Christmas in July? Mid-year Christmas? Feels like Christmas. Doesn't it? Nice new engine parts.
The problem is looking at other people's gear.
I didn't think about it like that. Brand spanking new, basically. I mean, there's not many places that can kind of make your engines look like this without ruining them. So big shout out to Bernard. If you guys ever want anything vapor blasted in Cape Town, he's in Montague Gardens. Links down below.
Is the link down below?
His phone number's down below. Do not mess around. Next up, we got a box from Stage 6. Well, not really. I've packed everything back in here so that I can share the unboxing with you, because I like unboxings. I know you guys like unboxings. Let's get into it. So, starting with maybe the boring stuff. I don't know if it's boring. I don't know if you guys saw in the first video, this panel here where you kind of access your spark plug or the top of the barrel, the exhaust or whatever, was completely cracked and was taped on. All the tabs are broken, so we got a brand new one. This is I don't know what brand it is. Trappe Motor Scooter, a dub booster. I know. Well, this is the replacement part for the broken piece. So all these parts will be linked down below, by the way. If you do want to check it out, we link to our website. Then, if you guys remember in the video, we had so many issues with the rust. And a lot of the problems also with the cables. Hey, Winnie. So a lot of the cables were rusted in place. The choke cable snapped, for example. So we've got a throttle cable, half. So that goes to the splitter. We've got the choke cable, which will go all the way to the choke. A new speedo cable. The other one was busted. It didn't even read. So we're gonna have a new speedo cable. And then I've got a front and a rear cable. Now I think these are both identical, so we might have to get them shortened by our cable guy. We couldn't find a shorter front cable one. So it's the same mechanism. Should work. Nice and new. Next up, just some generic straight design indicators. We're not going too crazy. We do want to keep this build kind of like a sleeper, so hence why we're going with the stock kind of indicators. This will also fit a Bws 100. So if you guys do need these indicators, they're very expensive from Yamaha. Check them out in the links down below.
They're discontinued.
They're not very expensive from Yamaha. They're discontinued actually. I've also got a stock looking airbox. We're going to be running the stock airbox. We're not going crazy. We're not upgrading the carb. So I've just got a Motoforce stock airbox. It doesn't come with an air filter, but the other one was pretty scratched up. Perfect little replacement. So we went with this. Can't go wrong with a side stand. These Bws never came out with a side stand. We've gone with a white to match the wheels and stuff like that. So this is going to be the size, the same one that I did on my Bws. So you can check that out in the video or the pop-up above. I fitted one of these, one of the best upgrades. If I'm not mistaken, I think we can't run a center stand with an exhaust. So that's why I ran this. So we're going with the Motoforce MBK Booster white side stand. Just some small stuff. I've got the ignition cover, keeping it simple, keeping it original, condom black. We've also got this Motoforce ignition coil. We're not going to run this plug. We're going to run a waterproof plug. But these ignition coils are awesome. If you saw my video on the Bws 100, the Naruka one wasn't working, but these Motoforce ones do. So my bad on that part, but these Motoforce ones are awesome. Got a much higher voltage spark. I think this is 31,000 volts as opposed to, I think, 15,000 volts. So that's always a bonus, a cleaner burn, a stronger burn off your spark plug. Way to go. Now on the cosmetic side, we've got some Stage 6 black grips. These are always a go-to for me. They're very grippy. They're very competitively priced. So if you guys are looking for grips, check them out on our website. We've got these straight design chrome screws, which we'll be putting on the gear case cover. No, the CVT cover. And these are always my go-to. You can get them in orange, blue, red. We're just gonna go with silver. Again, sleeper build. We also got a oil filler cap. These are pretty awesome. They CNC'd aluminium and then anodized. These are also ready to race, I guess, because you could lock them with some lock wire. Pretty cool, if you ask me. Another awesome thing. Okay, now we get to the engine side of things. Very fun. So, starting in, let's start at the top end. So we are rebuilding this motor. We have some gaskets somewhere here. We've got some base, head, cylinder, and exhaust gaskets. Base, head, cylinder, what? We have a base, head, intake, and exhaust gasket in here, as well as a Stage 6 small end bearing for the standard crank. That's just going to be part of the engine rebuild, so I've got that just in case. Moving to the intake, we have a Stage 6 reed valve. This is a single petal reed valve. These are quite new actually, so this will probably fit any vertical Minarelli motor. I think it fits the jog, the 2JA, I think. So if you guys are looking for these are new to our website as well. It's going to be quite awesome. It's got a single reed petal. I don't know what it is. So this is a V10 reed valve just with one petal and the stopper. So it's going to be quite awesome. Moving to the drive, we had to go with the tried and tested Sport Pro variator kit. So this is the same one in my one. I might be upgrading my one very soon based on your guys' opinion, because we have gone very far over to maybe the racier side. But this is going to be awesome for the sleeper build, keeping it very street, keeping it very rideable. I'm going to probably take your guys' advice and not run the contra spring in this video. Let me know if that's the right decision, because we're not going to run the 70cc big bore kit, which is I think what we did the last time on my video. I ran the contra spring without that and it just was bogging. I think it was engaging too soon, it was too stiff. So let me know if you recommend any other springs, or if we should just keep the stock spring. With that, we also have the CNC Racing pulley. So this is also what I'm running in mine. I think this is going to be pretty much just what you have to do. It's nice to have both halves of the front pulley working, and yeah, I recommend this. Then I'm not going to make the same mistake as my build and not get a clutch. So I've got this Motoforce clutch. I know you guys mentioned a few other clutches like Stage 6 and stuff, but for this sort of budget-ish, street-friendly build, I think this 3-shoe clutch from Motoforce 107, which will work perfectly with the stock bell, is going to be awesome. My one was just engaging too soon. The springs weren't stiff enough. Instead of stiffening up the springs, I'd rather upgrade this. You can also run this on your Bws 100, but you'd have to run a 107 bell. Works great as well. And then finally, we have the exhaust pipe, which we're going with. So again, I've gone with the Street Pro replica, Mark II, I think. So this is the same exhaust as mine. So I think this looks amazing. It's It's clear coated, you can see everything on here. I know this is not the best pipe for the Bws, but for our use case, I think it's going to be perfect for road, street use, nothing crazy. I might want to run a C16 on mine, so if you do want to be kept up to date with that, like and subscribe, so you can check out those videos too when they come out. We've also gone with a black silencer, so nothing too crazy. We're trying to make this like a sleeper with an exhaust. So we have the Stage 6 black silencer. This is going to look awesome on the pipe. So without further ado, let's get to building.
So we got the casings all nice and back and clean. I don't know if you guys remember how filthy these were. Anyway, they're nice and clean. I've got some new bearings for the crank. We've got gearbox bearings, the gaskets, the seals, and the crank. So I'm going to put in the main bearings. We're going to drop the crank in, close that all up, and then go ahead onto the gearbox. Okay, so while this is busy cooling down, before we put the crank in, I'm going to put the drive shaft seal in and a new bearing, this one over here. So I'm going to pop the seal in first, then we're going to drop the bearing in and then circlip it back up again.
Alright guys, so the circlip we just installed, I don't know if you saw, looked nice and shiny. Now that's not actually new. We had all of our old nuts and bolts replated. So we first tumble cleaned them and then zinc plated them. You can still see they've got a little bit of flaws and pitting, but this is the best thing that we can do without having to source every single bolt and nut. Now this is not all for the Bws 50, we did throw in some extra ones, but this is just to show you guys how nice and new everything looks.
Okay guys, the crank is in. It went together way easy, which is really cool. If you have a look at the piston, you'll notice that we have decoked it, meaning we have cleaned it. We're not replacing the crank or the piston because this motor was actually running sweet. So we're just going to leave it, put it all back together like it is. But we have cleaned up the cylinder with cylinder head, rings, piston. Yeah, so I think it's going to go quite cool afterwards. Okay guys, so we're going to do the gearbox. I'm just going to pull all the seals out, and then what we need to do is we actually need to wash the grease out of here, because we've found in the past that if you leave the grease in, it contaminates the oil, and then you basically have to, after a couple of 100 Ks, you have to change the oil again. But we don't want to do that, so we're just going to clean all the grease out so that we can only do a gearbox oil change on the next service.
All right, guys, time to get the intake on. So we're going to start with the intake manifold and reed valve. We've got, I don't know where I put it. Here's it. We've got the Stage6 V10 reed valve. It's a single petal. I've already actually opened it. And I think this is quite cool. So this is a little different than what I did on my Purple Bws 50. If you want to check out that video series, linked up above and in the description down below. For this one, we're going to go with a sort of a sleeper build, so we're going to keep the stock carb and the stock airbox. So what that means is I've gone with a Stage6 single petal V10 reed valve. So it's got a single V10 reed petal with the stopper, and we've also got a gasket. Now this gasket's a little different because it actually goes on the outside, and this has got a rubber seal on the inside. So let's get to installing. That was pretty easy compared to my one, and I think it looks pretty good. You can't actually see the Stage6 anywhere, which is unfortunate, but we know it's in there. Now let's move on to the CVT. So of course we've got all those parts that we spoke about in the beginning of the video, so should be pretty straightforward. We just need to reassemble the starter clutch, which is still standard, and the clutch bell I think we're going to keep standard. So yeah, let's get to installing. All right, now onto the CVT. So starting in the rear, we've got a Motoforce torque driver. Again, we're not going with a crazy upgrade of a torque driver. This is just to make sure that our pins are going to be fresh and the grooves are going to be smooth and not, you know, kind of dented in like they normally do. So what we'll do is we'll just check this one and re-grease it. There we go.
I don't think that one comes. Oh.
There we go. So you can see this one doesn't have all the grease in there, plus I'd love to put some Molossi grease in here. So we're gonna run that, and then we're gonna run the standard contra spring. So let's just put some grease in and then I'll explain why. Now that that's done, we are definitely running the Stage6 Street Pro variator, and obviously this comes with a contra spring. But as per your guys' advice, we didn't do it in our original video, but you guys say that you shouldn't run this if you're not running the 70cc Street Pro kit, because it's going to affect your gearing, and it did to ours. So we're going to leave that one out and rather put in this contra spring. I don't know the tension of this one, but this I believe is a medium spring, so this will be the one that we'll use. We also, with the spring, are going to upgrade our clutch, because the stock clutch, as you guys know, is a twin arm, not very much resistance on that. So we're going with the Motoforce 3-arm 107 clutch, and this will be such an awesome upgrade for the scooter. It will handle the power, and we could tune it if we want to. It's got full customization, spring adjustment, weight adjustment. Let's put this on. All right, so we've got our variator out. You can see it comes with two cams. One is for the 10mm crank and the other one's for the 12mm crank.
I believe. So we're going to obviously use the stock one, which I think is the 10mm one, and then of course you also get your bushing for the stock or modified crank. So we're going to run the stock one, and that's just how it goes. We've got also 5-gram rollers, which we will run, and then according to kind of how it rides on the road, we'll tune it. So let's assemble. CVT's in, now it's time for the back wheel. We're going to put the drum brake on, some arms, and get the center stand on so we can see this thing standing, and then we can carry on with the build. So we've got the rear brake in, the starter motor on. I really want to get this kind of stand in here looking quite sick. So I'm going to put the center stand on, but we don't actually need to run this because of the exhaust. We're going to run a side stand. So I'm going to temporarily put this on with some zip ties. To be honest, I don't know where the bolt is. I can't find it right now. I misplaced it. But we're going to just temporarily run this so we can put the rear wheel on. So this is a bit janky, but it will do. Cable ties are strong, right? This should go there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. That's a bit stupid. Okay. Well, let's just put the back wheel on. Let's go. So we've got the wheels back. Remember I said that you'd see it late in the video? Well, here it is. So we got them powder coated white. They're a little bit dusty right now, but they are nice and fresh and clean. We've also got fresh rubber on. We've gone with the knobbly kind of look. This is a Kenda tire, 10 inch, 130, 90, 10 in the rear, 120, 90, 10 in the front. So we're gonna fit this now. But before we do that, we actually gotta put these rubbers back on. So let's do that quickly. So we've got this one first. This goes in here. This is more of a dust seal, hey? And then we've got this one over here, which I think is more for like vibration absorption. Yep. On the rear drum. So we're gonna stick that on. It's kind of a little bit faded and ugly, but you know, what can we do? Compared to the white of this wheel, it's a little bit creamy, but we need it because it will help a lot of the vibration and any sort of road noise through the braking system. There we go. Sweet, now we can put it on. Let's do it. So bad. Wheels on, we've got everything kind of in place. We still got to do the stator and all of that stuff, but you know, whatever. Let's put it right side up, stick the bolt cover on, and check how awesome this motor looks. I'm gonna try my best. Yeah. Oh shit. I can only go that far. Yeah.
Alright guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the complete engine build. Well, not actually complete. We still got to do the exhaust, we've got to do the ignition and the stator side. And then we got to put the carb on as well. So that's going to all be in the next video. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you do want to see more of this build and other builds, remember to like and subscribe. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, the links are down below, as well as TikTok. We've been posting a whole bunch of series that are only on TikTok, on scooters that I wish I could own and all those fun things. So if you do want to check that out, links down below. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. We'll check you in the next one. Peace.